Let's talk herd. Because there's that heavy weight of the mental conditioning that we have around those things, that, that even that virus was, if it was man-made, and it's what are we going to do about this, because it's so persistent, but it doesn't need to be. That is just, it's just a conditioning.
And the horses were talking to me about the movement, and this wonderful, exciting movement that is still scary for me today. I can feel how they're unlimited. They see that there are no limits. And today I'm inspired by that. And my personal question for where I am today is, show me how I can bring my presence into that movement and into that love in a horsey way, because the way that I'm seeing it is like, I have to do something. Just so human, isn't it?
They have been showing me lately the ninth chakra for doing just that. That there's an awakening happening collectively now in this ninth chakra. Yep. Remember? Yep. Yes. Yes. Exactly. And the joy of using this ninth chakra, because the root chakra is way deeper than we can ever imagine. And it goes straight to starlight. And to drink from starlight with our root chakra is the sea of potentiality. And these quantum tales that these transmissions have been coming through from all of nature about this quantum tale. And that's collectively really becoming active, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's the movement that the horses were talking about. Yeah.
They're squealing in joy. Her first chakra is squealing in joy. All the way to the stars.
Yeah, that in our meditation for Gabby last night, Mother Willow wanted to guide. And I understand now that that's what she was. Yeah. Because it was all about the root and all about the persistence of the root, and that we never lose it. We're always fed by source. Yes.
Yeah. It's so amazing to feel, because, the first subtle center, the root center, I never really, yes, it's our connection to Earth. And it's our connection, just like Earth, planet Earth, to the whole ground of being. So how is the Earth rooted to the ground of being, but through the Earth star, the same ninth, into the groundlessness of light, of potentiality. And to feel that is like, to begin to embody that is to really trust flow. There's no problem trusting flow from there.
Yeah, that feels like that bliss that is so hard to describe, like that stretching feeling, but it's also a feeling of no leverage, like complete liberation. It's almost like your body stretches into it, but your mind is free.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can feel that.
Maybe that's how we are. That's our, I don't like to say we're supposed to, but maybe that's the way that we can be embodied. And it's a pleasurable, it's a pleasurable experience.
Yes.
No, it's not being trapped.
Yes.
We're stretching into that coherence as a physical form.
Yes. Where the body doesn't feel like a prison, it becomes this limitless prism.
Prism, yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are words from a really great Sufi teacher. Experiencing the body not as a prison, but as a prism.
Yeah. Wow. That's so perfect.
And the horses just are that. And who's to say that when they're shut down, they're not deeply rooted in that?
Exactly. And helping us in some way to make that decision to go there. You know,
yes.
I do feel that it is some kind of portal, some kind of.
Yes. If our
suggestion almost, yeah.
For me, if my attention is always going out, always going out, always going out. It's why I close my eyes a lot when we're speaking. Yeah. It's very difficult to feel what we're just speaking of.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Until we get to a place of a certain, I'm sure, maturation, where out and in becomes one thing, one flow. But we're so trained to go out, our eyes look out.
So true.
So inverting our attention has always been what nature is always saying. Invert that incredible attention, intention. Invert it. Invert the light.
Yes.
A rebalancing.
I'm feeling something as you're talking. I'm coming back to these vibrations that I felt in that car. It was actually a really good chance that I had to drive that car for a few days, because it's exactly how I feel sometimes in life, you know. And I'm feeling it in a different way. It's like it's transforming. And these vibrations, rather than something that is calling me to act or to protect or to do, I'm hearing that these vibrations are the source within me reacting and building up energy as if it wants to shoot a message, or I don't know how to describe it, but to propulse something and to feed that movement, and it's not an accident, and I don't actually need to do anything. It's just that when you talked about the body as a prism, it's like that reaction is happening in my body, and so maybe I can just witness the shutdownness, for example, and know that something wonderful is happening, and just that witness and that vibrational witness that happens in my body is part of that whole healing energy and that movement and fluidity.
What came into my mind when you were talking there was, you know how with homeopathic remedies and homeopathy, there's like vibration, and like sometimes if you shake them, you like reactivate that inner, so it's almost like a reactivation of the core vibration that's there, that is you, but it's like bringing it back to life. And maybe that's what the horses are doing for us. You know, in many ways.
I know that most of my human journey has been when that vibration happens, the loop has been to go into judgment against.
Yes. Yeah.
And that has been dissolving. I know that there's hope for the world if that can dissolve in me, you know? And that has been dissolving. And yet that vibrating the way you're speaking of it when you cross the line out of your true self, type of feeling, I'll say when an ego is speaking, it vibrates in my body, and it used to really trigger the ego to judge. And instead that vibration becomes this pure aliveness and alchemy of witnessing, like you said, which in and of itself is enough and is everything.
Yes.
It's what changes anything that perhaps is harmful, and a harmful agent that you were speaking of earlier, a molecule, into something else, something self-liberated. And that's amazing to feel with you both here. And the horses do not vibrate into judgment, ever.
No.
Which must be a big reason why I'm becoming free of it myself. Entraining to the vibration and a new pathway for it of expansion. I mean, that's not the only reason. Grace is the reason, right? That the transformation is happening. But that's a whole other topic.
I'm just feeling into that, like that process of when you cross the line and you start to vibrate in that way that's maybe jarring, but activating, and just, I feel like there's something more there to absorb.
The way I'm feeling that is that vibration is the result and the proof of a big wave of love coming into that situation. So it's the opposite, in fact. The vibration isn't an alert that I need to do something to help. It's a message of, wow, it's already healed, it's already, and that's amazing to see it like that.
And is it actively recoherencing, to use your words, Sabina? Is it an active realignment? No, it's actually a becoming that you're allowing, because you're not going into the mental judgment of it or response to it. So how is that similar? I'm feeling like the parallel with the horses, and they're in it like when they're apparently shut down, and also they can show that in anxiety that doesn't seem to relax, or is that a similar thing that they're offering us, this channel to that energy? And we see it in them as something frozen or something like anxiety because we're blocking it at that level of source.
What I see is the way Joanne just felt the wave was that she met it directly without any overcoating at all. And what she felt was this force of love. And if we meet frequencies from our horses as they meet ours, our frequencies that are coming through us, uncoated and directly, well, first of all, that is love. And that unleashes love. And that love completely alchemizes the frequency. Like you said, recoherences the frequency. Yes. That's what I'm seeing and feeling tingling through me right now.
Yeah.
With
that
you.
That really resonates. That reminds me of a time when Gabby and me, we took on a little mare, Octavia, and she was in a very difficult situation, and she had a lot of what you could judge as kind of behavioral problems, and she couldn't go with other horses, and she was very aggressive and to people and other horses. But I just remember seeing her as an angel. She was just this angel. And I don't know why that was at the time, if it was just how she looked to me in her body, but that, that's kind of what you're saying, that you're entering into that level of truth because that's what you feel. And
that lens of perception that you were speaking of. When you were speaking to someone on a podcast, right? And the healing lens of perception.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Yes.
I have a story about someone who has touched me recently. And I had a picture of this person as just being like divine royalty. It was amazing. And I could see that she was just arriving, like a queen, a long awaited queen arrive, and the trumpets play, and the angels sing, and the time has come, we've been waiting. Oh, I feel quite emotional just talking about it. And then as time progressed over the few days, I saw a different image, and it's of the body that this divine presence is in. So the earthly part. And it's covered with a dark cape. And it's made of, it's like a coarse grass material. I don't know, jute, you know? You know, jute is like really scratchy. And it's woven with a big weave, so it can't keep you warm, it can't keep you dry. The light shines through it. So she's got this big, dark, scratchy cape on, but I can see the divine light underneath. And I was asking about this cape because it really isn't agreeable. Really, like, no. I can really feel that scratchiness, you know. And the message that I got was this cape is so perfect, and we can give a lot of thanks and gratitude for this cape because it took centuries and generations to create just for her coming. And that this cape is going to be fundamental in her reaching her full power. And so it's coming back to that notion of movement and welcoming what is, and to go back to the shut downness of some horses, things that maybe on a certain level we don't want to accept, but with this other perception, we can see it's part of the perfection, and we can see how it adds its flavor to this wonderful, creative and loving movement.
Yeah.
And it's always porous anyway. All those coverings, no matter how solid they seem, even if they're the tightest knit. Nothing is solid. Yeah. That's the saving grace. Everything is porous to light.
Yeah, so true.
So beautiful that you could see right through and love that handiwork. I can see its beauty too now.
I could see what the cape was bringing as a gift, as many gifts through what it is. So imagine, why would we want to change it for something smooth and beautiful?
For our own comfort, I guess.
But that,
if we don't have that perception, right?
That changing of the perception is just so fundamental. It feels like
fundamental.
It kind of feels like taking something off a stand or a tripod, and then it's just able to move in all directions.
All right.
Yeah, kind of unheld.
Grounded in the groundlessness.
Yes.
Groundlessness.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's why I love cheating. I love cheating. I love cheating because I feel like hanging out with horses is like direct access to changing perception. The brain waves literally entrain to the oceanic brain waves. The heartbeat entrain. The body rhythms entrain, and perception follows.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know? And so it's just such a shortcut gift that I had never even expected to be in my life. for these realms of consciousness exploration, is to bring horses so intimately onto the path, and everyone who is, just who says yes to horses.
Absolutely.
There's this portal.
It's like breathing pure oxygen, isn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah, because it doesn't matter the circumstances that that's still
it
happening.
Can be through anything.
That's soft.
It is.
It's like the ocean.
Yes, I often describe it as sitting with the ocean. Like when you're sitting at the ocean, this is what it feels like to sit surrounded by a herd or with another horse being.
And just being eroded in that beautiful way of all the sharp edges. Yeah, it just feels like it opens up so many new possibilities. Not to lock down that, not to just lock things down into judgments or any kind of classification. Gosh, it's sometimes it feels like we've got a long way to go. Like we don't even know how.
But then look inside.
Inside,
but then look inside. There's but it's not. We are.
That's the
thing. It's not a metaphor to say that we contain the whole sea.
Yes.
It is not a metaphor. It is the holographic reality. So there's no need to say we have a long way to go. Because
yes, and just at that precise moment, I was thinking, in fact, we don't need to lock down into need. There is no need. Everything is there. And that also is part of our perception is, the need does not exist.
That's true. Yeah, because in a way, all of that, when I'm thinking about we have a long way to go to kind of that all of that comes out of society, all of the criticism and but all of that is not the truth. So it's not really, it doesn't exist as such anyway. So all we need to do is be who we are. And that's it. It's an instant cure for an instant.
And in fact, when you say it doesn't exist in the way that is perceived. The way it does exist is like escape. It exists in a perfect way to contribute and to move.
Wow,
and
that's
to
even more
motivate and to add and to challenge and to rise up.
Yes. So then we can embrace it. We don't have to feel like we need to escape it.
And we don't have to identify with it either. That's a really freeing thing. We can be wearing a cape, but I am not the cape.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We can see others' capes. We can see our own cape.
You can see the collective cape.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It reminds me of when I was with the horses the other day and I was doing some healing for Gabby or we were just opening that space for her. And it was like I was having this master class in just the power of the mind, and it was like I felt like, oh, you're understanding like 5% maybe of what's going on, but it was the relationship between acknowledgement of the whatever the suffering and the what we would call the physical issues was, and also the flow, and how those two come together. And it was just incredible. Like, I don't even want to try and put it into words, because I don't even feel like I could. It's like it's just like absorb and don't try to understand.
Right now, the horses are drinking together out of the water trough. And that's what it's just like next to each other. They're just quenching rhythmically next to each other. I wish I could turn the camera, but that's what I feel.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it felt like. So quenching and so vast, and you could always turn round, I suppose.
Yeah, that's
we could
true.
See over your
it's
shoulder.
Okay, they're done now.
I can imagine.
He's back to dribble his wet muzzle on my leg. You know how they think that's funny?
Yeah, they love to do that.
They save some. They save some.
Yeah. So funny.
It's just a little baptism.
Yeah. Some holy water for you.
Well, how beautiful can be that master class. Thank you for giving us a glimpse. I can feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was also a moment of self-judgment, like, oh, not so much judgment, but just I wish I could be of a level for this. And so that is another opportunity, just to be a student, and that's okay. And I don't have to know.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah, but it's that just being able to sense that there was something, so vast that's enough of a gift, really.
Yeah. I was going to say that when Sabina was talking about not identifying with, the collective cape and our individual capes, and I was thinking, that perception that we're allowed to glimpse is really such a gift for us, because it frees us completely from that identification, from wanting and from needing to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like fulfillment, isn't it? It's like it's like waking up from a bad dream in a way. You get that feeling like, wow, none of that's real.
It's a still pointed simplicity, and allows me to enter, not just enter into the now, the threshold, not just that, but become one body with the body of now.
I love that.
Yeah, those words that came through a transmission, the body of now, the one body of now.
So
it feels to me like the
rich.
I am that I am portal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so lovely. and no longer feeling any separation. By looking at things that need to change, nothing needs to change. There is no separation.
Yeah. As one herd, one herd of now.
And maybe that is that feeling I was talking about of filling up. It's not just filling up, but it's there's a word for that when water does that. Oh, what is it? When it goes through a cell membrane and it
Osmosis?
joins. Yes. Yeah, like, so that's that. You're filling up, but you're also becoming one.
Yes, the barrier is no more.
Yeah, exactly. Or the barrier becomes the connection, which is what the cell membrane is.
Yeah.
It's not a barrier, it's a doorway.
Yeah, the potential.
Yeah. Like a porous receiver.
Yes, porous receiver, like the cape. Was the opposite of what we could imagine. This scratchy cape to hide the light. No, it's there to enhance.
Exactly, yeah. When you look at it like that, it's, yeah. Wow, we've got lightning outside.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Big storm.
You're going to be lucky you'll get some rain.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I'd love to have some rain.
It's supposed to. Wow, I just feel like I want to just sit in this place and just be in this body of now. It's just perfect.
I feel so grateful.
Yeah, me too. So much gratitude to you both, to the oneness.
Yes. And you, Sabina, and the horses. And all the horses.
Yes, and you, Camille, and the soul herd, and Joe, and your soul herd, and one soul herd here. One body of now. So grateful.
Yesterday when I was walking in the woods with Molly, my mum's dog, I heard, and you know how you just know? I heard a horse galloping in the woods. I mean, it couldn't have been anything else. And there couldn't have been a horse there. Like there's no way there was a horse down there. And because there's not even a path, really. And yeah, it was so powerful. And I didn't really know what it was, but I just kind of feel like it was the spirit of horse. It was just like a sign that it's becoming more powerful and more manifested. You know, more visible.
And thundering through where there are no paths already created.
Wow. Yes.
Who needs a path?
Exactly.
when the one body of now is the portal. I hope that the frequencies that we are interbreathing here together are able to be felt by anyone listening. I know they're felt through the ethers. I hope my wish is that what we've all said yes to and opening together through this dialogue can be really a clear transliteration of the wordless. And thank you, Camille, for bringing us, Joe and I, and you together in this way. What an incredible perfection.
It feels wonderful. It kind of feels, I had this thought before we started, it feels like being with the wild horses. Your two spirits are so wild.
We're so wild.
Bringing the wild horses together.
Yeah. You speak for yourself.
In the best possible way.
Exactly. I totally love that. Khalil would agree.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming and being.
Thank
you. So open.
Just thank you for being here on the planet at this time. To you both.
It's very precious.
I feel, it feels like a big release emotionally to me is happening, kind of through all of us right now.
Yeah, I felt tears there too.
Yeah,
a release emotionally. Yeah.